In this segment, we're going to talk about advanced sealing technologies. These days, with environmental regulations, housekeeping regulations, generally people are more concerned about what's happening in our atmosphere and our environment. Seal manufacturers are forced to come up with alternate solutions to better protect those things. And plants are very conscious about what type of precautions they have in place in order to prevent catastrophic failure and reduce costs of the plant. They're very conscious on what type of sealing equipment they're specking out and using these days. With single seals, the newest technology on the market is diamond face. Diamond face seals should be considered in applications where we're having continuous failures due to abrasive particles getting in the liquid, vapor margins being not good, dry running, those types of services. Diamond face has been proven to extend seal life dramatically. Those are available on all standard type cartridge seals, both single and double. Some larger pieces of equipment have typically been packed in the past. Many plants don't like leakage and are trying to prevent that in any way, but they also don't want to go to the extremes of having to disassemble their pumps completely in order to install traditional cartridge seals. The advent of split seals has helped that quite a bit. A split seal is basically a seal in half that gets assembled on the shaft in place, and you don't have to remove any of the equipment. So things like large vertical turbine pumps that would require a rigging crew and others on site to remove it and install the seal. You don't have to do that anymore. You can keep the pump in place and install a split seal. Another area where they're used prevalently are large split case pumps. Again, a split case pump has two seals. So again, it's a maintenance headache to remove a large split case pump, rotating assembly, and install seals. Again, with the advent of split seals, that's not necessary anymore. They can be done in place. A newer technology to the industry is what we call the O-Pro design. This seal was designed specifically for the Viking pump and chocolate services. You'll find most food plants traditionally use packing, but again, that presents a housekeeping issue, because if you can envision many pumps in a plant that are leaking chocolate or syrup or viscous food processing liquid all over the floor, creates an eyesore and of course cleanup. The O-Pro was designed to eliminate packing and has proven to be a very successful technology, which accomplished a couple of things: eliminated leakage and increased production time for plants. So the O-Pro is a O-ring design, which also eliminates the need for a bracket bushing, which is a common area of seizure in a food processing chocolate type pump. It's installed very easily and can be retrofitted with a traditional packing pump. It's installed very similar to a cartridge seal. And the way it works is you have a series of O-rings, and you have food grade grease, which is injected into that area. So the O-rings and the O-Pro are seeing the grease, and it keeps the chocolate out of that area. Virtually eliminates leakage, and the only maintenance for this is occasional re-greasing of the O-Pro barrier seal. The O-Pro has expanded into many other markets. Asphalt, for instance, is another very difficult environment to seal, both because of the temperature and the viscosity. But typical asphalt pumps are not flushed out frequently, and so you can imagine if the temperature drops, the asphalt hardens, and then the pump won't turn. The OPRO, again, has proven to be a very successful technology in that industry and has eliminated the packing and, again, the housekeeping and eyesore of asphalt leaking all over the plant. It has expanded into many other areas, corn syrups, starches, any of those very difficult to seal liquids is a usage of this type of technology. This segment we're going to talk about double seals and different types, where they're used, and how they can benefit the end user. You have two types of double seals. One we call wet seal, which requires a barrier fluid. And we also have a dry running double seal, which is running with nitrogen or air. Let's talk about the wet double and some of the variations of that. Just like all types of seals, there are many options on materials for double seals. Basically, a double seal is two seals operating at the same time. The advantage for the end user is that your process fluid to the atmosphere is virtually eliminated. However, because you have a second seal in there, it needs to be lubricated, and that's where the barrier fluid comes in. The barrier fluid can be pressurized or unpressurized, depending on what you would like to happen. A pressurized barrier fluid would leak into your process in the event of a seal failure. An unpressurized barrier fluid would allow process fluid to leak into the reservoir. And then that is contained either through a flame or some other means of level protection. So double seals are used in applications that cannot afford to have any leakage to the atmosphere. And those would be liquids that are very hazardous to the environment or just very expensive. You can also use a double seal in situations where you have a viscous liquid. So you want to keep that liquid out of the seal faces. A double seal will help you to do that. Double seal requires a seal plan, always requires a seal plan. And those seal plans would be, again, either pressurized or unpressurized. It also requires some type of reservoir or tank to store your barrier fluid. The only caveat is that you're going to need a barrier fluid which is compatible with your process, because there will be contamination, and if you don't want any of that contamination, then you want to make sure you have an inert barrier fluid that is lubricating and also is at ambient temperature or close to it. The other type of double seal, and we talked about contamination. The alternative to that is what we call gas seal. So gas seals are used in instances where you can't have any contamination of your process fluid, but you also don't want any leakage to the atmosphere. Many chemical plants use gas seals. Basically, a gas seal requires some type of nitrogen supply or air supply to create what we call a lift-off condition in the seal faces. The seal faces on a gas seal are very different than your typical mechanical seal. They have what we can call spiral grooves, which are etched into the seal face. Those spiral grooves allow the nitrogen or air to pass through and create that lift-off condition. There are some limitations to that design. The most common limitation would be shaft speed. The pump needs to maintain a specific shaft speed in order to get that lift off, and that shaft speed is dependent on shaft size. Your seal supplier can certainly give you those conditions that need to be met in order to have a good running seal. Yeah. Mechanical seals are also used not only on pumps but on agitators or mixers. Those generally, the seals are installed at the very top entry of the vessel, and they're always going to be running what we call running dry, or they're going to be sealing vapors from coming out of the vessel. Those seals are typically going to be double seals, and again, they can either be wet or dry running. The good thing with agitators is that they are generally running at very low speed. Some can run as low as 10 RPM or 20 or 30 RPM. And because of that low speed, they generate less heat at the seal faces. There are also different types of seal faces that are used on agitator type services that can handle that dry running condition. That concludes our segments on sealing technologies. We really appreciate you attending all of the segments and would value your comments, insights, applications that you have in the future. You really don't have to live with pumps that aren't working properly or seals that give you continued problems. We can certainly help you with those and would appreciate the opportunity. And again, would just like to thank you for listening in. We're going to have additional segments on various things in the process industry. We'll be posting those on our website, and please attend. If you have any suggestions on things you would like us to talk about or discuss, please let us know that. You can reach us at our website or give us a call at our office, and any one of our application engineers or sales engineers would be happy to assist. Appreciate the time, and thank you.